If you compare beer with bratwurst,
and cheese with wine,
or even whiskey
with donuts,
then we think you can pair all of these delicious drinks with
murder,
conspiracies,
missing persons,
and more.
Drink with us as you feed your craving for true crime and creepy stories.
Hello and welcome to the Perfectly Paired With podcast, where myself, your host, Jason, and your other host, Katie, brings you a story, a tale of mystery, murder, conspiracy, all sorts of different types of things. And while my wife, Katie, brings that story to us, I pair it with a drink, and we enjoy a libation as we listen to what unfolds. If this is your first time listening to us, thank you for tuning in, and please make it halfway through. I guarantee you it's worth it. Kate, do you want to give us a little tidbit on what we're talking about today?
During the year 2025, it is projected that globally 37.1 million passengers will set sail on a cruise ship. In fact, across the planet, there are 323 cruise ships in operation, making up 51 ocean cruise lines and 27 river cruise lines. And when a passenger steps aboard a cruise ship, they usually expect a few things. They desire fun and entertainment, all presented with the air of luxury. They want unlimited good food and delicious drinks. But most of all, they want to walk away with wonderful memories from their time spent at sea. But for a few guests, these giant cruise ships, the largest machines in operation on planet Earth today, go from being dreamboats to nightmares. Specifically, over the past 20 years, it is estimated that nearly 200 people have gone missing from cruise ships. And knowing that cruise lines are disinclined to report these disappearances, and there are no governmental agencies that actually have jurisdiction over the open ocean, we may not even have a true grasp of that actual number. Now, most of these individuals are presumed to have fallen overboard, presumably by accident, but perhaps some at the violent hands of others. But there are some missing from cruise ship stories that just simply boggle the mind, like Kevin McGrath, who is seen on cell phone camera footage dancing at 2 a.m. But by 7:30 a.m., Kevin, who failed to show up for breakfast with his family, would never be seen or heard from again. His disappearance is as much a mystery today as it was the day he was reported missing.
Dang. Sweet. Well, we just watched a documentary on a cruise ship, and it had nothing to do with people disappearing. It what was that documentary called?
Okay, so I was
like the poop cruise, I think.
I was under the weather. I had like a summer cold. I was not feeling good. Jason had to go to work, and I put on Netflix the documentary that's associated with the train wreck series called Poop Cruise.
Yeah, that's right.
And that absolutely would be a nightmare. But I've also heard of people going missing off of cruise ships, which led me into looking at all these weird disappearances.
Yeah, no, you've definitely mentioned a couple times to me, like, oh, we should do cruise ship disappearances, because you'd hear about them here and there. I think it's boy, here we are on another track of disappearances and like no answers.
Yeah.
And obviously our last two episodes, we had some answers, like bodies were found.
Yeah, but we don't know who killed them.
But here we are at sea, and the disappearances have no bodies to be found. I'm assuming most of these anyway.
None.
It's all of them.
Nope.
So here we are again, just
I think it's
dead bodies everywhere,
summertime.
or
People
missing
are
bodies everywhere.
people are vacationing, they're taking cruises.
Yeah.
I'm very much about a theme. And so jumping into these like cruise disappearances make it feel like summertime.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. I totally agree. It's perfect summertime one. For all of those thinking about taking a cruise on the summer, during the summer. Well, we have good stories to just egg you on
Make
to
you
go
not
ahead and
want to
do
go.
that. I was saying the opposite of you.
However, I think this is a challenge for you because I anticipate 4 or 5 cruise line stories. So picking a drink each time, I think it's going to be a challenge for you. This is easy.
Yeah.
This first drink. But after that, it's like...
Yeah, and even this first drink kind of came by accident. So my wife loves guava and everything flavored guava she tries. And when it comes to the drinks, we always try the guava drinks. I was walking through the liquor store the other day, and since we're so close to 4th of July, I was going to get we've actually had it on the podcast, red, white, and berry, I think is what it's called. It's a Smirnoff. And right next to that Smirnoff, the red, white, and berry, was Smirnoff Electric Guava. And I could not pass that one up and not bring it home to you to try. Yeah. So we did try this. And it just so happened she was doing a cruise ship one for the next one. And, well, guava definitely fits the characteristics of going on an island cruise. And not every island has guava, but inevitably guava would be on a flavor of the vacation for most cruises, I would assume. I don't know. I don't go on cruises, so I could be completely wrong. That's what I think of.
You look at the bottle and you're like, yep, that is a cruise ship cocktail in the making for sure.
For those watching on Spotify, it is very colorful. I highly suggest it. It's super good. Like I said, we've already tried it. We put a splash, maybe a little bit more than a splash of club soda in it just to cut through. It's a little syrupy.
It's thick. Terms of...
It's thick, as she said. Yeah, so you need something to cut through it.
But a splash of soda water, and it tastes...
Oh, it's
like guava juice. It is so good.
It's summer heaven.
I can't even begin to tell you.
It makes me
what it means to me as a fan of guava.
It makes me drinking this down here in our podcast room, which is in our basement. It's cold down here. I mean, it's actually not too bad right now, but it makes me want to stop podcasting and go out on our porch where it is like the perfect 80-degree temperature right now outside.
Yes.
And enjoy this drink. But we won't. We will go ahead and record this for all you that decide to make it to this point. If you've made it to this point,
what I'll tell you.
10 more minutes. Just give it 10 more minutes.
Guava's hard to describe if you've never tasted guava. But if you have tasted authentic guava and you mix this with some sort of mixer, it is a very genuine guava flavor.
The smell is 100% guava. When you pour it into your glass, you would have no idea that you would think it'd be that like thin guava drink. You would have no idea it was going to be thick, a little syrupy. Just throw in a little club soda, even water, or throw it in some ice and let it melt a little bit. It'd be perfect.
Well, I'll tell you, for a girl who ties guava flavor irrevocably to her summertime memories, guava from Smirnoff is perfectly paired with a story about a summertime or end of summertime vacation that unfortunately goes terribly wrong.
Well, as most of our stories.
So,
let's get depressed, folks.
In 2023, Kevin McGrath was a 26-year-old divorced father of 2. He was an Army veteran with completed deployments in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria. Married life would not last long for Kevin. He and his wife would ultimately divorce. And in September 2022, Kevin pleaded guilty to aggravated assault stemming from a domestic violence situation where his wife accused him of threatening not just her life, but the lives of their children. Kevin would ultimately be sentenced to 6 years of supervised probation for that crime. Kevin was permitted to move from Tennessee, where his wife and children lived, to Florida, which, when he did move to Florida, he moved in with his parents. And after a tumultuous few years, Kevin was probably very excited for a bit of relaxation, sun, and fun on a cruise with his family to celebrate his father's 60th birthday. On September 1st, 2023, along with 43 friends and family members, Kevin set sail from Miami to embark on a 3-day cruise to the Bahamas aboard the Carnival Conquest. Now, nothing stood out as a miss for a majority of the trip. On September 3rd, at around 10 p.m., Kevin's father, Sean, visited the cabin where Kevin and his twin brother, Andre, were staying. While there, he gave Kevin his luggage tags and told Kevin that he needed to be at breakfast the next morning at 7:30 a.m. Afterwards, Kevin went out to enjoy the nightlife offered on the Conquest and was caught on a cell phone camera dancing at around 2 a.m. in the morning of the 4th. That was the day the boat would be docking in Miami. Kevin's key card was used to get into his cabin at 3:30 a.m., but when his family met for breakfast at 7:30 a.m. the morning of the 4th, Kevin never showed.
Yeah, well, I mean, 4 hours of sleep, I could see somebody not showing up.
Okay. Later that morning, the ship docked in Miami and every passenger disembarked, scanning themselves off the ship. So if you've never been on a cruise ship, passengers have to scan a card noting that they've left the ship and then scan the same card noting when they've returned to the ship, that so that nobody is like left behind.
Like what our kids do for the school bus.
Yes, it's a school bus. When Kevin's family failed to find him, and it was determined that Kevin never scanned himself as disembarking from the ship, Kevin was reported missing to the Miami-Dade Police Department. Now, here's what's interesting, because we're going to cover a few of these missing from cruise ship stories. A lot of times, people go missing, and then the boat docks in a country that isn't the United States of America, and families are faced with really tough decisions. Do we report them missing here, or do we get back on the boat and wait till we return to the United States to report them missing?
Oh, weird.
Do we stay off the boat and then try to search for them here? Do we get back on the boat in hopes that they're somewhere on the boat? At least for Kevin's family, it was Miami to the Bahamas and then back.
Oh,
So there was none of that weird decision-making.
That would suck to have to go through those decisions of, especially the, do we stay here or get back on? Because then you're literally feeling like you're just leaving them behind.
Right.
Whereas they're probably left behind in the ocean.
Well, we've got a few stories where it's just like, oh my gosh.
Really?
I hope I'm never in that situation. Now, the Miami-Dade Police Department, working with the Port of Miami officials, Florida Fish and Wild Game, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the Carnival Cruise Line, searched on the boat and in the sea, but discovered that there was no signs of Kevin on the boat nor in the water, specifically in the stretch that had been traveled from the previous night where Kevin was seen on the cell phone footage into the port at Miami.
Which, all things considering, is somewhat of a maybe we could find a body, especially since we know they're on the boat at this point 3-4 hours ago, and not at this point. But I don't know. That ocean is so damn big.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't give any. I mean, anytime I hear about somebody falling off and being rescued, which you told me a story.
I did.
Stupid people falling off a boat, and yeah, they were rescued, but they knew it right away. But even then, it does happen where they fall off. They know right away. We see a footage of it,
Okay,
them falling off, and they never find a body.
This is a very short story, so I'm going to reference the story that Jason was thinking of, and then a second story that just gives me nightmares. So the first story is, I just read that on the 29th of June, this 6-year-old girl fell into the water off of a Disney cruise ship, and her hero dad jumped in after her to save her life. And obviously they dropped a lifeboat and they saved both of them. And you're just like, oh my gosh, he is the best dad in the entire world. And then you keep reading and it turns out that he set his 6-year-old daughter on the railing to take a picture of her. And that's why he fell over. He was like, oh, shiznit, I am the worst dad in the world.
Yeah.
It's either my wife kills me or the ocean kills me, or I jump in and save the girl. And so he jumped in and saved his kid.
Yeah, it's or option C, my daughter dies, so if she dies, I'm gonna die too.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear of adults putting a child on a rake, because there is another one where a grandpa did it.
And
remember
we could possibly tell that story. It's not on my current list.
That one is hard. But
here's another one that this is what gives me nightmares, because I love sharks and I hate sharks.
I know what you're going to tell.
So there's this young guy named Cameron Robbins, and his friends dare him to jump into the water.
Yeah, they do.
And he jumps into the water and he absolutely survives whatever distance that fall is.
He does.
They're recording him and then he just disappears.
He's gone.
And people think they see maybe a shark in the water. It's off the coast of the Bahamas, which there are sharks or whatever. And I've watched this footage so many times because sharks thrill me. It's just oofed.
No, but that is a weird one because he's there.
They're recording him in his final moments.
And then he's not.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And it does, in my opinion, look like there is something in the water with
There's something off to the side that people think they see.
It almost looks like multiple things are around him, if I remember correctly. Anyway.
Circling back.
The ocean is scary. And I would not fuck with it off of a cruise ship. I don't think it ever ends well.
So after not finding any sign of Kevin on the boat or in the water, it was also discovered that none of the security cameras had captured what appeared to be Kevin or any other individual going overboard. In addition, the sirens designed to alert when someone goes overboard never actually sounded.
Now, that's an interesting thing. If there is sensors capturing someone, or I guess detecting is a better word for it, falling over, that would be, I guess that would make sense to have, kind of like a garage door sensor or something.
So the man overboard systems actually use multiple cameras with thermal imaging to spot humans in the water. Some systems even incorporate AI. When a person falls overboard, an alarm will be activated.
So it's all off of cameras? Because that was the other thing I was going to say. You said cameras didn't capture anything, and I guess you could just set up a sensor detection system within the cameras.
No, so I think it detects body temperature in the water along the exterior of the boat. That's what thermal imaging means.
I was about to go into something super random on that. But what about whales and dolphins? They are mammals, so they're warm-blooded
I'm
creatures.
assuming they don't approach boats like that often, or it's an instantaneous change in temperature, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, like someone just fell in.
Yeah. Yes. Now, when questioned, Andre, Kevin's brother, he thinks that possibly, he might have heard Kevin leaving the cabin between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. that morning.
He thinks he probably might have, with a hint of possibility and a dash of hope, he left around here.
Here's where I have the biggest problem. is they go, Kevin's key card was used to get into the cabin at 3:30 a.m. No, Kevin's key card was slid into the key card reader at 3:30 a.m. They don't know if Kevin went into the cabin at 3:30 a.m.
Also, 2 people shared that cabin. They don't know that was Kevin using
Correct.
a key.
They're just going off of what Andre said.
I doubt. I don't know. I've never been anywhere where there was a system where it was like, Katie, here's your key card and here's Jason's
And I'll tell you
card,
why.
and we'll know which one of you enter the room.
Because my husband and I took a trip to San Francisco a couple years ago, and I'm pretty sure he lost his key card and tried to convince me that the key card that I had had the entire time was actually his key card. And I was the one who had lost mine, and it wasn't true.
Well, that is what happened. You did lose your key card. And I had mine. And you stole it.
No, not even a little bit.
As much as the listeners care about that story, what other details do you have for us?
Not much. So I'm going to segue into why nobody cares anymore. Now, Kevin is 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighs about 170 pounds, so by no means is he a small individual. But for all intents and purposes, it appears as though he just simply vanished from the ship. Now, media outlets would later report that Kevin, who had been on probation, never actually got permission to be on the cruise in the first place. And his probation officers would point out that he had unpaid fees. And that's the most current coverage in terms of Kevin's disappearance.
Is that your impression of like the blondes reporting?
He didn't even pay his fees.
So we're not
So he shouldn't have been on that boat because we didn't say he could be on the boat. And so if he disappeared, that's kind of on him.
So let's not waste any more news time on this.
And then his sister will get on like social media or even do like news interviews and she'll be like, we just want to know. And then they're just like, he was on probation. So maybe he could account for that. And he owes us $712.52. And you're just like, he disappeared from a cruise ship and not a small cruise ship.
Even his ex-wife is just like, can he, like, I don't care about what he did in the past to me. I would like to know where
he went.
My kid's dad is.
He's got 2 kids, and his mom was like a former New York police officer who literally spends her day just like racking her brain. Could you imagine? You get on a vessel. It's in the middle of the ocean. And your kid disappears, and you're used to finding clues and solving the problem, and nobody cares.
Let's take a moment.
I hate it.
Let's do a thought experiment.
Okay, Albert Einstein, let's go.
No, just for funsies.
He's known for his thought experiments. That's why I said it. I couldn't remember the German word.
Is he really?
I
knew him and I had so much in common. If we had a kid.
Oh, I'm not taking my kids on a cruise ship ever.
An adult kid.
Okay.
Too. Let's not go into them being kids because obviously we might as well, just cast check in, be done. But if we had a kid, they're an adult, they're seen partying 2:30, which is fine. Do it. Yeah, it's great. But we know the ocean. We know what it's like. We know, like you're wasting your time, essentially, like trying to figure it out. The cruise is done. All the evidence is in. Unless there is something that like truly shows like somebody's trying to cover something up, which they do. I mean, I saw, what was that show? It wasn't Billions. It was, damn it. Well, that sucks. I forgot it. Anyway, there's a show about a billionaire family that he has a cruise line and it comes up that they did cover up, bodies missing off the cruise ship, because they were in international waters, and there's no governance out there.
Nobody
Anyway,
cares.
outside of that, like just like blatant, like, oh, we can, like, we know they have more. Would you, as this detective cop mom,
I would never stop.
You would never stop.
And I would tell
To
you
what
why.
end, though? You'll never find anything.
I'll
You know you'll never find anything.
Yep. But the alternative is accept and just be sad every single day. Or you channel your sadness, your depression, your loss into something proactive. That's what I think is happening for her. You become Gandhi and can just accept that your child went missing off of a...
You treat it just like every other death.
Absolutely not.
Like,
you and I are different people.
It hurts every day. But you also have other children.
That's fine.
And she has other children.
And she does, and I'm sure she...
And you just channel
Here's what I think.
into them, and you just know.
There are several stories I'm going to tell you.
I like how you just assumed my answer. You didn't even ask me what would you do.
Okay, what would you do?
I did kind of say.
I feel like I know you enough, and I think you would put that in a box. It would sit in a corner of your soul.
Yep, I'd drink it into a box for a little while.
You would feed it not even electric guava. You would be like, that's too happy. I'm going to feed it the darkest alcohol I can find.
I would never touch electric guava again.
Far too exciting.
I wouldn't touch seltzers again. It would be just bourbon and Coors Light pretty much for the rest of my life.
I will.
And Yellow Jackets as well.
I try not to be honest on this podcast. I try to be factual, but not honest. I think for Kevin McGrath, he probably had a tough life to live. And if there's anybody that, I know what I'm going to talk about in the next few episodes. He could be a guy that drank enough, went out to the side of the boat and let himself fall in, or drank enough because he didn't care if he fell in and was on the bow of the boat and accidentally fell in. Like, I think Kevin McGrath fits that category. Moving forward, the people I'm going to talk about don't fit that category. So we're starting off, which I thought was going to be like lighthearted. Just, he went missing. But I do...
Missing people is not lighthearted, Catherine.
In the middle of the ocean. I'm
especially
obsessed
in the middle
with the
of
ocean, but I'm like terrified of its power. But
terrifying.
I do think Mark could have set sail from Miami with his family with this idea that...
Kevin? Did you say Mark?
Let me tell you this. Mark McGrath is a singer. And every single time I searched this story on the internet, it started with Mark McGrath, and I went, oh, shit.
What?
Delete. Mark McGrath, he's a singer.
I don't understand. Every time you search it, it started with Mark
because his name is Kevin McGrath, but in my mind, it's Mark McGrath.
I gotcha. Okay. That kind of makes sense, actually.
Anyway,
I would do the same.
Kevin,
Word association.
I think he could have been okay with falling over or intended to fall over.
He's going through it for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah. No,
but
yeah. No, I tend to agree. And the fact that there's nothing else that points to like grievances he had with anybody on the boat.
No. Everything had been smooth sailing. It's a 4-day trip.
Yeah. Like you didn't even find details of like his brother being with him on the dance floor.
And with 43 additional family members or friends, you're not looking to interact with other people. So you're not even making new enemies, new sort of situations.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He very possibly got done dancing by himself. I mean, there's other people. Didn't make any connections with anybody, in the nightlife, which can be depressing on its own. And you go back to your room and you slip your card into the lock, and you stop for a moment. Your brother's on the other side. He's doing a lot better than you are. You just feel like trash. And you pull your card back out and say, I don't know. Let me go up. I might not do it, but I might. Let me go upstairs and look off the balcony.
And I'll tell you this, I would assume that the man overboard equipment would work really well until I watched Trainwreck Poop Cruise. And I'm just like, I don't think they actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And if an entire ship can be floating in the ocean for like 4 days, no flushing toilets, no electricity, I'm not sure if I'm trusting this man overboard situation.
I'm not, me neither, because I'm pretty sure the shark video that we talked about earlier, it did not, I don't remember any sound being made. Now I have seen,
I've never heard it with sound.
You haven't, maybe I haven't either, but I have seen one video that I can think of. I have no idea when I saw this, but I was like shocked to see somebody go overboard and like sirens went on very fast. I have no idea when I said it. Was somewhat recently, because my brain doesn't work that way unless it was recent. Damn, I'll have to find that. But yeah, it is a thing. I definitely saw a video where somebody went overboard and sirens went off pretty quick. But I just can't imagine that's a perfect
Okay,
system.
so here is a separate scenario. Kevin McGrath has an issue with anger. He's out dancing. He's out drinking.
Yeah.
He tries to get like a couple hours sleep. He does get up, decides to go try to find like breakfast or whatever the next morning early, coffee, acetaminophen for the hangover headache that's encroaching from the night before. His brother does hear him. His brother is like half asleep, can't place when he leaves. And he pisses off the wrong person who's working on a cruise ship, is like, I don't know where the freaking coffee is, dude. They get into an altercation. I'm assuming there are several ways for things to be removed from a boat. Also, if I could show you what my husband poured me versus what he poured himself, give me your cup.
I was giving you didn't
it's
like
such garbage. Look at this. That's his. Look at that. That's mine. And I haven't had a refill once.
I've had a couple, but we don't have
That's a baby pour.
We don't have any ice or
there's a lemon floating in there. It makes it official.
But you were just like, I don't like the thickness of it.
I don't.
And heard that before.
If he didn't fall over, there wasn't like malfunctioning equipment, his body had to go somewhere. So somebody on that boat had to have had some sort of interaction.
Yeah, so
right?
I chalk it up to it's got to be likely one of two things. One,
we're solving it right here, folks.
Well, I said likely, which means I'm not solving it. But I think the most likely outcome is, or a scenario that happened was he did off himself.
That's what I think is the most likely.
And
as well.
And the sensors just didn't catch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, shit, when these cruises are happening, half the sensors are just people on the boat. But when it's 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, you don't have many people just out observing what's going on around. So those sensors can, I'm sure, are certainly defective. I mean, like you referenced the poop cruise.
Where nothing went
These
right.
cruises are not perfect whatsoever. Or I would say a little more general than what you said is more of a something happened that the ship could cover up. There was only few people that knew about it, and they could just bury it.
Okay.
Pay a little extra to those people that knew about it and be done with it.
So here's something else that was exposed in this almost satirical documentary about the poop cruise, is that when everything went to shit, excuse the pun, on this Carnival cruise, there was one guy who was responsible for reporting what was happening to the media. And he had a very simplistic statement, which was, there was a power outage. We're looking to get it turned back on. Everything is fine. And and it wasn't fine. There was nothing fine about it. The only reason why people know what happened on the poop cruise happened was because there was another Carnival cruise that passed close enough that they could hop onto the Wi-Fi. And then the people on this cruise, where like poop was raining down from the walls.
Oh, they finally were able to
use the Wi-Fi from this other ship.
Oh my God.
And they called out. They called media. They called family. And they reported what was actually happening. So cruise,
my goodness.
I left it out, and I wish I had my notebook. I always wondered
how the media got a hold of it.
Cruises make a ridiculous amount of money every single year.
It's insane.
And so the point is not to report what actually is happening, but in a way so you preserve people wanting to go on your ship. So it's like if an altercation happened between this guy and somebody else, I'm not saying it did. This is it's just me talking.
Hyperbole,
nope,
right?
That's exaggeration. And then I say juxtaposition, but that's taking two things. It's not the right word.
How is Electric Guava getting on us like this? I guess we did
because we went to Chili's before.
Yeah. No, we went to a fine dining establishment.
We didn't. We dropped our kids off at my parents' house, and my mom gave us a gift card to Chili's because we're cute. They don't want people to know what's happening on their cruises.
No, they don't. No.
So people are going to tend towards, this guy caused a ruckus. You hit him in the head. We have to make him disappear. That's all I'm saying.
No. I mean, it's just like anything.
And the poop cruise taught me that.
Theaters, movie theaters, same way. No. One time, you go and see Batman and somebody shoots up the whole theater and somehow everybody keeps coming back. You just kind of bury that as much as you can.
My favorite thing at the end of the poop cruise is they offered them like a refund and then a new cruise. And I'd be like, I don't know if I would sign up for that. But then
it did say they did settle with anybody that sued them.
Yeah. But the lawyer who was speaking on behalf of those litigants
he
goes, apparently when you buy these tickets, you agree to the fact that you aren't going to guarantee sanitary living environments
they cover
or
everything.
Nutritional food. They literally are like, if the poop cruise happens, we have to make sure people are okay. Sign away their rights.
That's how much the cruise lines want to shut it up as much as possible, that they'll still settle for something that they've got covered in the agreement that you sign, and they could probably just go, fine, sue us.
Yeah,
you'll lose.
They don't want.
But they're like, we don't want 2 years of litigation. That's 2 years of bad publicity and less people coming on.
Well, I'll tell you this. Kevin McGrath, his story is weird.
I remember when the poop cruise happened. I vaguely remember just headlines on it. It disappeared real fast.
Well, I'll tell you this. Kevin McGrath and his story is weird. But the stories I intend on telling you in the coming maybe 2 months, intermittent with other stories, are even weirder. Now, the waters Kevin McGrath seemed to navigate during his adult years seemed to be rough and choppy at best. However, for his family, I imagine it will be the dark, deep waters of the Atlantic Ocean that will forever haunt them, or at least haunt them until they can answer the question, what happened to Kevin McGrath aboard the Conquest?